Okay, I believe I am a week late on vlogging because I've had some extremely busy weeks recently, um, and I've had a workload that has pretty much killed me the last 2 weeks, and I got sick for a little bit, and so I was trying to get over that. And so, sorry that this is later than usual. First thing I realized recently was that my vision statement slash my plan going forward for my business wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. It wasn't very clear, and it had a lot of holes and gaps, and just was not extremely well thought out. So last week I changed a lot of that kind of thing, and planned it out better than previously, and really gave it a new direction, which still has to do with the direction I was going in, but it's kind of a new idea behind it in a sense, and one that I think is one that I'm really passionate about and can really get behind. I've been writing down times that I can meet with certain people to talk about the Semina project, and the title has almost nothing to do with what it is. It's just a fun title, so I get to call it Hercules all the time, which is great. But I met with one person about it who gave me kind of a monetary value on the idea, and it was an interesting meeting. And in a few minutes here I'm going in for my next one, and then tomorrow I'm meeting up with someone else who apparently wasn't in today to do it today. And yeah, so as far as developing this, it's getting places. It's still got a huge way to go. And actually I think I've decided, instead of just going for straight investment on this project, which is what it would take, just because I'm a poor college student and I don't have the funds to create it myself, and I'm certainly not going to even try to take out any bank loans or anything. So instead of, my idea was to go with strictly investor route, but I think there's a few other platforms I'm going to try before that time. Also, with those platforms, I kind of have like a harsher deadline than I would like to have, because in the next few weeks I would have to have that done, and then those platforms take a chunk of time to see if I can get the funds from or not. And then there's this opportunity that I was presented in the business college here to present pretty much like a Shark Tank kind of presentation in front of a bunch of angel investors and VPs, present the idea and see what they think about it, and just like the show Shark Tank, it's pretty much set up exactly like that. So if they like an idea, they'll invest on the spot, unless there's some kind of caveat thrown in there, which I don't have all the details on, but it's an interesting opportunity. But so I need to either have a good chunk raised on these other platforms before that happens, or all of it raised on that, so I could outrule that as an option and something I wanted to do. Or find out that I can't do it on these other platforms, in which case I can really focus on that time, that moment, and that presentation, and really doing that well. And also, what it becomes is not just, oh, this is a great way to get money or investors, resources, whatever. It becomes like sort of a proof of concept situation, where if they can see the vision, like the other people I've been presenting the idea to, then it's probably worth doing. One thing that I haven't done so far, which is long overdue I suppose, or a month overdue, is open a bank account for my company, just because I haven't needed to spend any funds on anything yet, and so that wasn't a priority on the top of my list. But I think that's going to need to happen, just so that anything that does come up can go through that account, and I won't have to worry about mixing funds, because that becomes a big issue if you ever screw anything up, or just an extra hassle to try and decide which was yours and what goes where and everything like that. Since I'm the only owner, it's easier, but still having a separate bank account for the company is definitely a must-have. I've really focused less lately on my website activity, simply because I think I've decided that Semina is going to be more of an umbrella to other projects, companies, products, or whatever. And so that website still hosts the artists on it and stuff, and that's something I definitely want to keep going because that has gotten some cool feedback so far. But aside from that, that website is not going to be this million view website, and I'm not trying to create it to be that anymore. The only thing I would like to see grow on there is more visits on the artist page, and so more artists on the page, and also people on the vlog or blog, just because I think that's really interesting. It's harder to find people who are actually interested in these things and actually care about something like this. Most people just are either working their job or are interested in their schooling or sports or whatever, and so business isn't something I think a lot of people are interested in, not from people I've talked to anyway. And so that might be a harder group to grow, but even if I get a small following on that, that'd be awesome, because those are the kind of people I like talking to anyway. Pretty soon here I'm going to be creating a film for my project, kind of an intro to it, which I think will be awesome, hopefully. I'm looking for a graphic designer to help me on one part of it, just with some of the creativity aspects and visual aspects. And so that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm going to try and storyboard that today and get the whole idea in picture. The scripting for it is essentially all written out, but then just resources beyond that need to be acquired and worked with and everything, and that needs to be done preferably before spring break, because spring break I'm going to Honduras for 10 days, which means 10 days where I'm not doing any of this stuff, and when I get back, school's not going to be any easier than it is now, and my other groups that I have to lead and be a part of aren't gonna slow down either. In fact, they may pick up. So getting this done as fast as I can will be great. I'm also working on an entire business plan, which I've never created before, for the Hercules Semina project, and it's interesting so far. I've been working on the market analysis. I took a little break from that when I realized the direction my company was going wasn't exactly where I wanted to take it, and so I paused that for a little bit, but I'm going to be working on that again today, and I'll probably move to the next thing beside the market analysis and revisit that when I have a clearer head to think about it and more time. But it's definitely a big process. Business plans usually, people don't want to see them more than 30 pages or anything, but then if you're getting a 25-page business plan, that's a lot of work and a lot of detail and source-oriented material. So that's a bigger project than probably any paper I've ever written in school. I think that's all I have for now. I'm trying to give more specific details than I have right now. One thing I've realized though, and this took too much time to realize, is that if you're going to do something like this, you can't go half in. It's just not going to work unless you have some kind of magical product that's going to sell itself and you never have to do anything. It's really something you have to devote a ridiculous amount of time to, which I haven't been doing as much as I should because of my class load and all the other things I'm involved with in future planning, I guess, which are all excuses and things that don't necessarily have to stand in the way. And if this is what I want to do, then I need to go for it while I have the chance to. And usually I'm like, oh, well, I can do it tomorrow or the next day or something. But more school piles up, more obligations come along. And the longer you wait, the less chance there is that you're going to do it. When you have the chance, you take it, because if you don't take it then, it may never come again. And people think, well, I'm so busy now. You're not going to be any less busy tomorrow. And if you're not going to be any less busy tomorrow, it's never going to happen. So if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? That's my little lesson I've learned. So it's when you have the chance, take it before it's gone, or take it before you psych yourself out of it, and just ignore everything else if you need to, because if you are set on that path, that's the one you need to take.